approach is based on addressing gender inequalities and promoting healthy lifestyles in such a way that enables boys and girls and young men and women to reach their full potential on their path towards adulthood path. We want to be the support, mentors, and strong pillar for all those in need and all of those for whom we know are going to be the essence of the future and who we carry on the values we are hopefully giving them.
So, before we hear our dear guests, who will now open the conference, we will briefly remind you how beneficial this day will be. First, we would like to remind you of what we have achieved over the years to bring us to the point and to see the course for what we would like to achieve in the future. According to the detailed research that we have carried out and will present to you today, it will become crystal clear why life skills education is of vital importance for the youth.
And after the break, which will include walking down the memory lane, we will have breakdown stress sessions. Then, as usual, we will summarize the keynotes from the sessions and report on the conclusions that have been made.
Afterwards, we will have the closing ceremony, which will actually be the beginning of a new chapter. The chapter of a bright and safe future for our youth, and one that will tirelessly pursue.
So, let the future begin. Let's begin with the messages from our keynote speakers.
It is an honor to announce that we have now with us Sumka Buchan, Regional Director, Care International Balkans from Sarajevo.
Thank you. Good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, dear supporters. I have an enormous pleasure and privilege to welcome you on behalf of CARE and on behalf of Young Men Initiative Project to the Future4YouTH conference. At the same time, I'm sad that we're not together, that we cannot discuss, exchange views, and most of all, celebrate all the incredible achievements we had in the past period. It is a difficult moment for the humanity, so we are all sharing this challenge, but I hope you are all well and your families are well, and that you have identified coping mechanisms to deal with this situation. I will tell you a little bit why we are here today. So CARE International is working in the Balkans for more than 25 years and implementing many projects and programs. But one of the most successful and most innovative projects is Young Men Initiative. It is a project that is focused on promoting values of non-discrimination, non-violence, and introduction of life skills education into school curriculums. And this has been truly an amazing journey. And I cannot be happier that CARE has been part of it together with our partners and our supporters. We have started a long time ago, in 2006, with a qualitative study with 50 boys. But over years, the project grew and evolved in different directions, directly engaging more than 750,000 young people, teachers, professionals, stakeholders who are jointly working on Program Y implementation, the program that provides youth with critical skills for their smooth transition from adolescence to adulthood. So now it's time to step up and expand and introduce life skills education into official school curriculums through recognition and accreditation of Program Y throughout the region. Program Y is a comprehensive tool that does not just provide you with knowledge on thematic areas, but encourages inclusion, participation, and interaction. Program Y represents life skills and gender transformative education. and why is gender transformative education important? Using gender lenses and addressing social constructions of masculinities and femininities has been a proven strategy to achieving gender equality and decreasing all types of violence among adolescents. CARE has been focusing on introduction of gender transformative programming in a non-formal education as a strategy for building important life skills for young men and young women as they emerge into young adulthood. In the Balkans, we are aiming to achieving even more. We would like and want to make it part of formal education, which will pave the way for new generations of young people to achieve gender equality, eradicate violence, and bring long-lasting peace to the region. Respective ministries of education are crucial partners for CARE, and we would like to express our gratitude for their firm commitment around our joint topic. The complexity of education requires that life skills education is introduced gradually. And we are pleased that that is happening together with scaling up of Program 5 in all 5 countries where we work. We are also grateful to our donors and long-term supporters, Swiss Development Corporation, Austrian Development Corporation, Oak Foundation, Norwegian government. They all have recognized and have continuously been sharing and supporting our vision and the commitment for this important work. Nevertheless, the most important players in this process are our partners. We have been cooperating with our partner organizations for more than 14 years. These civil society representatives have strong motivation and remarkable energy to create positive changes for youth in their communities. We would like to thank them for enormous work they have done. Those are Association XY, Youth Power, Institute Perpetuum Mobile, Century 8, Smart Collective, Status M, SIT, YMCA, Act for Society Center, Synergy, and all BMN clubs in the region. All project partners and CARE joined together in creating Future4YouTH movement. And momentum for a change in the Balkans has come, and we need to join our efforts and experience of a decade of work into one social movement for addressing violence prevention, gender equality, life skills, and healthy lifestyles among young people across the Balkan region. We develop and we seek partnership with well-intentioned, dedicated individuals, organizations, institutions, especially youth and their parents, teachers, peer educators, sports and social workers, pedagogues, psychologists, activists, members of academia who share the same vision and values to achieve the goals. So, before you made your mind about the movement, I would like to invite you to look into the future. So, in years to come, when we create a critical mass of critical thinkers, both youth and adults who share our values and make positive changes in society, we will be able to say, we did this. And when your kid comes from school and tells you, I had program Y today, it's my favorite class, you will be able to say, well, mom or dad had something to do with that. They will roll their eyes and say, please stop. But you get the picture. I am able to see these changes by watching and listening to our incredible BMK members, and young leaders who are part of our BMK alumni. So I invite you now to join Future for Youth movement by signing declaration and bringing into life, by implementing advocacy and awareness-raising initiatives in your communities, educating youth, and adopting policies and legislations. Let's make this happen. Youth is future, and we have a chance to do something for Future for Youth. I would like to thank you, and please stay safe and stay well.
Thank you so much for being here with us and for those powerful words.
That was powerful. And next with us today is Michaela Flanner, Program Manager at Southeastern Europe, Austrian Development Agency. She's talking to us from the beautiful city of Vienna.
Yeah, welcome also from my side. I'm Michaela Flenner, representing the Austrian Development Agency, and I'm the responsible program manager for the Southeast European region. And I'm managing the programs and projects, and this one, the Young Man Initiative program, is one of those. In this regard, I would like to thank you, the CARE and its partners, for organizing the event. Sylvia, Marina, and all the other hands that have participated and did assist in organizing this huge event. Unfortunately, it's not possible at the moment to meet in person due to the overall situation with COVID-19, travel restrictions, and the health situation. But nonetheless, I hope that you, your family, and friends are well. Maybe just to give you some background information, what is the strategic basis for for ADA's engagement to support in the program? It is the regional strategy on the Western Balkans of Austria from 16 to 21. And this is considered as a reform partnership with the countries in the Western Balkans and with the Republic of Moldova. And it is based on two foreign policy and development policy objectives in order to support the overall poverty reduction and social inclusion. That is, on the one hand, strengthening the regional cooperation in the region, and also the support to EU accession. That is like an overarching the goal that we consider. We have three thematic priority areas, and one where we consider the most relevant one for this program is the thematic area of governance, human rights, and the rule of law, where we speak a lot about institution support, and gender equality and social inclusion is one of these subtopics that we consider as relevant for governance, human rights, and the rule of law. So when we speak about this, what is our background to that? It is very much also the 2030 agenda on Leave No One Behind. Special attention is given on gender equality and also the inclusion of disadvantaged groups. This is also related to people with disabilities, children, or ethnic or religious minorities. So increasing the equality of opportunities is also relevant, particularly in the sector of education. And we see as ADC impulses for the focus on upper secondary and higher education. So well-educated people have better chances later on in the labor market, but also within the entire society to contribute. So social competence includes crucial soft skills that are required also after graduation. Yeah. So as mentioned, the principle of the Austrian foreign policy is the protection and promotion of human rights. We follow the human rights-based approach as a fundamental principle, and we want our projects and programs that we finance that the human rights aspect, principles of participation, non-discrimination, accountability, and transparency are implemented. We also are committed to strengthen conflict prevention and peace consolidation and the promotion of dialogue in principle. Although we see equality between men and women often is reached in legislative measures, in practice, women are often facing less rights in their personal surrounding and less access to the formal labor market, to education and training, but also in their personal surrounding, as mentioned. So why does ADA consider the intervention men and boys as partners in promoting gender equality and the prevention of youth extremism and violence in the Balkans as relevant, so that we are financing this current project? It is that the contribution to enable positive and peaceful societies for young people in Serbia, Kosovo, Albania, Bosnia, and Herzegovina that support gender equality and decrease interpersonal violence and its extremism. So it is done through the Life Skills Program, the Program Y, as it is scaled up in accredited countries, through the work in selected communities as a program youth model, and also through social movements that are activating and strengthened to engage citizens, but also parents, youth, and a diverse civil society. So this makes it possible to actively promote gender equality, life skills, and also health education in schools. The social norms campaign that is or was developed for targeted audience is promoting peaceful masculinities, gender equality, and while addressing hate speech and intolerance, we are again in the aspect of conflict prevention. So all these aspects of peer learning and regional exchange are crucial matters for us. And we consider institutionalization as a very important tool in order to have certain movements further developed and integrated also in the school system. In terms of social learning, this applies to a topic that is discussed and implementing within the project frame. And this is more relevant also in times when social distancing in effect and the current condition is a fact and the current condition in our lives. So we're looking forward to the evaluation recommendations that are soon be finalized. And we see what that brings us, and we hope that ADA can contribute also in a future engagement. And we're looking forward to receiving a new concept from CARE that will be submitted hopefully soon to us. So once again, many thanks also from my side for the overall organization of this event. And I will turn now back to the organizers of the conference. Thank you very much for your attention.
We heard from Program Manager, Southeastern Europe, Austrian Development Agency, that we are very grateful as well.
And now, again from Sarajevo, we have here with us Barbara Dotweiler-Schua, Director of Cooperation Swiss Embassy in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Let's all wish her a warm welcome.
Good morning to the participants of the online conference Future for Youth. Greetings from Sarajevo. I hope you all are well, healthy, and taking good care of yourselves and your families. I'm sad and happy at the same time. Sad because I cannot feel the atmosphere of a face-to-face youth gathering and that I can address you only with a pre-recorded statement. On the other hand, I'm happy because I feel that despite all restrictions and challenges caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, there is still energy. There is still a commitment of young women and men to move things forward. I am a big fan of the project promoting gender equality and healthy lifestyles among young women and men. You want to know why? Because I'm personally, strongly convinced that the society can only advance if women and men, boys and girls are treated with equality and mutual respect in the society. This is what, in my view, the project is all about. For the last 6 years, Switzerland has supported this project, in particular the Young Men Initiative, and we will continue to do so. We do this as we believe young people are the most important resource of every country. We would like to see young people take an active role in topics that are relevant for them: health, employment, or gender equality. Yes, gender equality, and this is not just a buzzword. Gender equality is a precondition for a healthy society. Do you know that harmful gender stereotypes are one of the root causes for discriminating, abuse, and violence? Therefore, eradicating clichés and associated behaviors should be a priority for any society. This is a difficult task because norms and behaviors are often deeply rooted in a society. They are not changing overnight. But all of us, all of you present today who stand for an equal society can contribute to change them. I think that CARE International and its partners in Bosnia and Herzegovina, Association XY, Snaga Mladih, and Perpetuum Mobile, as well as other partners in the region, have chosen the right approach to make social norms and social behaviors change, slowly but surely. First of all, CARE and its partners have chosen to work with boys and young men first, making them allies and agents of change in this process. Second, CARE and its partners work with schools. This is important because eradicating clichés and changing behaviors starts in the classroom. And finally, CARE and its partners have encouraged young people to become active in their communities, to bring together the civil society, informal citizens groups, parents, teachers, and other stakeholders around the same goal. I am impressed. I am impressed because I have seen the results. I have seen the results when I was talking to young men and women who participated in the Young Men Initiative. Some of these young men told me their personal story, and I was very touched. These young people have changed. They not only have changed their perceptions, became open and positive members of the society. They also themselves have started to fight publicly gender-based disadvantages and discrimination. Young people are the future of the Balkans. You are the future of the Balkans. In Bosnia and Herzegovina, we are just developing our new Swiss cooperation program, and we decided to give young people a special role in this program. We want young people to be our strong partners. And for that reason, we are now in the process of establishing a youth advisory board. It will be composed of 10 young people aged 16 to 24 from different parts of the country. These young women and men will participate in key events of the Swiss Cooperation Programme, in field visits and project steering boards. They will provide inputs and feedbacks on project evaluations and PR materials. We want to capitalize on the fresh minds and diversity of young people and take on their leadership potential. This is an experiment, hopefully a successful one. I am convinced that you will leave today's event with many ideas on how to improve work with young people in schools and how to provide a safe and comfortable environment for young women and men in and out of schools in all countries of the Western Balkans. Wishing you all the best, happiness and health, and take care.
Thank you all for your words, and most of all, thank you all for being there and making all of this possible.
And now, let us now go through the past, walk down the memory lane, and see how far we have come to.
In 2006, Venus Express orbiter arrived at Venus. Italy won the World Cup in Germany, defeating France. Montenegro and Serbia split to gain independence. But for the lives of many young people in Balkans, something far more important happened.
Young Man Initiative, YMI project, started that same year, and it is being implemented in Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbia, Croatia, and Montenegro after it started in Kosovo in 2010 and in Albania 2014. The project builds on CARE's comprehensive and programmatic effort to prevent interpersonal and gender-based violence, as well as to promote gender equality in the region.
Since then, YMI has been targeting youth to build their knowledge and attitudes concerning gender equality and healthy lifestyles, and to decrease levels of all types of violence.
In partnership with Ministry of Education, YMI is now supporting schools to embrace life skills into education, into their curriculums, so they can change the life of youth and enable them a bright future.
But before we speak about the future, let's see what we have proudly done until now. Can we hear you, Sarajevo?
Hello guys, greetings from Sarajevo. Everybody likes to be popular, right? So let me start with the thing that we are mostly recognized by. That is a Be a Man, Change Your Rules campaign. You must know by now that theme of this campaign is sex.net, which is a website that we use for all embarrassing questions about the series that are called Sex Education on Netflix. You probably heard about that. There is also a global fatherhood campaign. Global Man Care has active campaigns on ongoing activities in over 25 countries on 5 continents. But not only that, we know how to ask each other, are you okay? Which is really important. After a campaign that aims to change culture, make the school a supportive environment for young people, and encourage young people to react, especially when someone needs our support. Now I have some interesting thing about our guys in studio. That is not all. We also had some time to spend in theater. YMI is famous for a macho man. Theater plays seen by more than 20,000 people through Europe, and the new theater play that is called How Can I Explain This to My Son, that is seen by 2,000 people. Since we're talking right now about numbers, I really need to read this because this is enormous. It is about everything that has been in the YMI since 2006, and they have directly worked with 612,446 people. And through a social network, YMI campaigns are seen by more than 10 million people. It would be nice to be involved in that by following them. So I hope that will be enough from me. See you guys later.
Whoa, that is a lot of people. Let's see, where do we go next? Tirana, do we have you online? Welcome.
Hello, this is Krista from Tirana, and as you know, crisis doesn't mean much if there's no natural growth. So let us remember how it all started and where we are now. This project started in 2006 with qualitative study with 60 young men from Belgrade, Podgorica, Banja Luka, Sarajevo, and Zagreb. They helped us learn how to engage men and boys in violence prevention and promotion of healthy lifestyles and gender equality. From 2010 to 2010, we were supported by Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The project was piloted in 8 schools in Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, directly engaging 4,114 young men. Wow. But for 3 years next, also supported by Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, project expanded the target group and included girls, as you can see, and also expanded territory to Pristina high schools, directly engaging 9,996 young men and young women. The phrase 2014 to 2017 was supported by Austrian Development Cooperation, Swiss Development Cooperation, and Oak Foundation. The project expanded to Albania too. Yes, Albania. But expanded the programmatic topics including work with fathers, journalists, parents, sport coaches, directly engaging 70,664 young men and young women. And from then till now, also supported by the same donors, program focused on scaling up in high schools and universities, piloting in elementary schools, and working with youth at risk as well as with migrants, engaging 88,709 young men and young women. See you later!
Haha, see you, yeah. So, let's see what does Mostar have for us. Lucky to have you with us.
Hi from Mostar. Wait, we can't talk about the BMN campaign without mentioning the BMN clubs. To date, there are 34 of these clubs in over 30 towns all over the Balkan region, gathering 2,631 young men and women. Members of the clubs, boys and girls, are active participants and promoters of the BMN campaign in the way that they are those who develop and organize campaign activities in their schools and encourage other young people to get involved in promoting their values. So let's be short with this one and say we really, and I mean really, know how to have smart, educational, but crazy fun. And you will see just a small piece of the results in the video that we prepared for you to see in a small break. Bye from Mostar.
Dear BMC, we are glad as well. It was a pleasure to be part of it. Now, let's hear from Kosovska Mitrovica.
Hello, Beth. I'm Selena. I'm from Kosovska Mitrovica. And if you really want to know, yes, we miss those clubs very much. COVID-19 pandemics was something that none of us saw coming, but it didn't stop us to find, as we always do, a unique solution for our problem. YMI is where young people are, and YMI exists because of needs of young people. So pandemics gave us even more space to innovate, rethink, and use youth design solution to create safe space for our participants. When we were under major lockdown in March-May period, BMN Club was the most active online communities for young people. They produced 475 online solutions that included everything from workshops, podcasts, even pajama parties, and organization for mental health support for everyone in need. See you soon.
Oh, wow, that was really motivating. But we have to move along. Pristina, we're with you.
Hello everyone, I'm Rama from Pristina. Please, not everyone wants to be a famous. Some of us are proud to be a nurse. So we are very proud on 26 researches and publications that we have in our YMI library as well. Plus, all people interested in the program, life skills education and engaging men and boys in promotion of gender equality can use this in their work. So, go and check all of these here. youngmaninitiative.net, program-y.org, posisex.net, and pay special attention to images that is fundamental base of our work. Thank you very much.
They say Belgrade never sleeps. So Belgrade, we are ready for what you have to say.
Hey studio, hello to you too. So, let's see what's our top priority now. Because everything we do for the future, for youth. And our now is all about accreditations. We really need that ministries of education recognize the program and enable the program teams or subject or part of another project, led by head teachers in targeted countries. Well, the models of accreditation and adaptation of the programs are similar, but yet specifically tailored for each country. At the moment, the process of accreditation is like this. Yes, as you can see, this is a very complex process, but we are a very ambitious group of people, right? In the future, we really expect that all the ministries of education will recognize the program and put focus on life skills education, their curriculums, like in order to ensure that young people internalize healthy lifestyles, nonviolence, and gender equality. But please don't forget solidarity and peace, just as ultimate values. So trust us, because we already know so very well that that's the future that we would like for ourselves. So studio, do you trust me?
Thank you, Teodora. Next up, Zagreb. Zagreb, we are with you, Zagreb.
Pozdrav iz Zagreba. Our will to keep on going is something that makes us really happy and confident in a much needed program that we work tirelessly on. We are implementing them by a series of group educational workshops accompanied with the social norms campaigns. We cover almost every young person needs through our manuals of educators that work with young men and women, AIM and W program, for youth at risk outside of the educational system, and for young fathers and father-to-be, Y plus and T program. But as strongly as we work outside of the system, we wish to be part of it and to improve it with the knowledge we are happy to share. So we have program Y for work with young people in the school and programs, E for work with elementary school students, which is in development.
And last but not least, we welcome Banja Luka.
Okay, we're now in Banja Luka. My name is David. I think that you are a little bit tired. Are you tired? So let us refresh a little bit with bringing us a bit more with prizes we got. Those are always good for some extra motivation. So here we go. 2010, the Best Social Norms Campaign by Serbian Association for Public Relations. 2016, the first Ron Kovic Peace Prize at My Hero International Film Festival for the film Post-War Machismo Be a Man, done by Thomson Reuters Foundation, which made a short documentary about Be a Man Club from Banja Luka, Dragan Kisi. 2017, another award, Innovation Award winner by Global Education Network Europe. The award is intended to benefit global education projects that bring about positive changes and open people's eyes and minds to the realities of the world locally and globally. Innovation Award was given for the first time, and they have received 80 applications from 26 countries, and Young Men Initiative project is among 12 Global Education Innovation Award winner. So basically, we didn't win only Oscar. So that's it for me.
The importance of life skill education in a young person's life sounds obvious, but it should never slip our minds that the violence and the frustration increase greatly when there is a lack of it. So once you see the numbers of our research, that includes 2,500 people across the Balkans, in Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbia, and Kosovo.
Wait. Let's rephrase this. Once you see the data of our research that includes 2,500 students, teachers, parents, employers, media, NGOs, and public professionals, you will have no doubt. First, let's see the situation in Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Now, we will watch a short video that will give us the basics of our research.
Currently, the quality of life skills education is significantly worse, rated by media and NGO representatives as sufficient, than teachers in high school as good. But it's encouraging that all of the groups of respondents thinks that life skills education is necessary. 90% of high school students and 94% of high school teachers, followed by 80% of parents. Good news is that over 90% of respondent groups are for life skills education to be a part of formal education and are willing to support it. 100% of media representatives think it should be part of a formal education, and 95% are willing to support it. Also, 90% of public institutions professionals think it should be formal, and 93% will support it to be formal. However, most of them, 89%, think the prevention of violence and nonviolent communication is the most important topic next to prevention of drugs and alcohol abuse, with 86%.
So, when we have these informations in mind, here with us is Feđa from Sarajevo, from XY Association, that will tell us some more about the research. Sarajevo, the stage is yours.
Hi, Belgrade. Hello from Sarajevo. My name is Feđa Mehmedović, and I'm working from Association XI within the Department for Health and Healthy Lifestyles as a program management leader. So I'm really enthusiastic and really happy to share the data about the research on what is the perception level of support among different stakeholders and different target groups in relation to life skills education here in Bosnia and Herzegovina. What is important for attendees of this conference to know that we engage together with the CARE International and partner organizations 2,500 individuals who participated and contributed within this research. This research is first of its kind because for the last 13 years we are working on promotion of life skills education, but never before we had the insight about the perception of life skills education and willingness among different stakeholders to support introduction of life skills education within the formal education. So this research engaged high school students, parents of high school students, high school teachers, representatives of public institutions, representatives of different NGOs here in Bosnia and Herzegovina, media representatives, means editors and journalists, and employers from different type of business sectors. So the first question was about rating the quality of life skills education in Bosnia and Herzegovina of existing programs of life skills education. So we ask a question and provide opportunity to scale it from 1 to 5. 5 is the best, 1 is the worst. So we ask about how would they rate existing life skills education and the quality of life skills education in our country, and some average mark that we received is 3. Based on the responses, we can conclude that parents and NGO representatives were not so much satisfied with the quality of life skills education, while teachers and public institutions were partly satisfied. This data about this partly satisfied categories provide us new opportunities for advocacy, because we really believe that existing life skills education programs are not on a satisfying level. So there is a lot of space for the improvement of life skills education, but also we should not forget that in many parts of the country, life skills education is not accessible. So this is advocacy opportunity for all of us. The quality of life skills education is significantly better rated among all target groups in Federation of Bosnia-Herzegovina comparing to responders from Republic of Srpska. The second question, from my perspective, professional perspective, most important question is about the relevance of the life skills education. We ask all these target groups, all 2,500 individuals, if life skills education is necessary for young people, and would they support it? So, great majority of responders thinks that life skills education is necessary for young people, and that is important for us as an advocacy strategy, because when you have such huge critical group that recognize life skills education as something that young people need to have within the formal education, then we are on the halfway of introducing really comprehensive and high quality life skills education within the different educational sectors, because country is divided into 2 entities, cantons, but also within different schools all around the country. What is interesting finding is that employers, less than other groups, thinks that life skills education is necessary for young people. Why this is interesting? Because all the research and all the strategies about the improvement of opportunities for young people and about the building business sector and economy of the country is focused on finding how schools can contribute in building life skills education of the young people. And mostly employers are the one who emphasize that formal education is not adequate platform for building the life skills that are relevant for the business sector. That's why I was surprised with the data that employers, less than other groups, think that life skills education is necessary for the young people. Among the parents, we find out that male parents, less than female parents, consider that this kind of education is necessary for the young people. And same goes for the parents in urban areas, where the parents from the rural area recognize this education is more relevant than the parents from the urban area. Also, what is interesting finding in the students and teachers among those who recognize life skills education as necessary for the young people and a higher level. So we can see these differences between different responders, but what is really important to emphasize, when we are comparing this data, all the results are quite high, and we really find that all these target groups are recognizing life skills education as a relevance. But when you're comparing data between them, there are ones who are less supportive, and there are ones who are much more supportive. But almost in all cases, more than 90% recognize this as a relevant. Second question is, should life skills education become a part of formal education as a mandatory aspect of formal education? And sub-question was, would they support introduction of life skills education within the formal education? And public institutions and professionals and teachers in the high schools, less than other things, that life skill education should be mandatory part of formal education. It is important to add some other finding that we have from the workshops and the trainings for the teachers, that many teachers and professors doesn't recognize life skills education as something that can be part of formal education, because they don't find the linkages. And one of the reasons for that is the fact that schooling format that is existing in Bosnia and Herzegovina, but also in the region, is based on traditional teaching approach. So this is this ex cathedra approach. And that's why they don't recognize and they don't find connection between a schooling format, teaching methods, and life skills education as an outcome. But also what is important to say that this finding emphasize the importance of teachers' education about the life skills education. So this is not something that demotivate us. This is something that motivate us to have a more comprehensive approach in working with teachers to understand what is the link between life skills education, health, and what teaching methods can have a life skills as an outcome of this teaching. But what is most important is that 94% are ready to support life skills education and initiatives of introducing life skills education into formal education. Almost 100% of NGOs, 95% of media representatives, 95% of parents, 91% of teachers are supporting and are willing to support initiatives to introduce life skills education within the formal education. And when it comes to topics, there are some difference between adults and young people. What is something what we expect from this research? So we ask different target groups, all these 2,500 individuals, to rate 4 key topics. And from their perception, what is the relevance to be integrated, to have these topics integrated within the formal education. So gender equality as a topic is demanded in rural area more than in urban area. What is really important finding, because usually these programs are focused on some urban areas, which means that we have to introduce gender equality as it was requested through this research in more comprehensive way in the rural area all across Bosnia and Herzegovina. Also, by entities, gender equality is more important to students in Federation versus Republika Srpska, and teachers are within the Republic of Srpska are more focused on gender equality as an important topic than teachers in Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina. You can see the differences. Regarding the second question about sexual and reproductive health, we can see that it is more important to students in Republika Srpska than to students in Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina. And for teachers, almost 100% recognize this as relevant, versus teachers in Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina with a percentage of 87% of those who recognize this as a really important question. Then prevention of drug and alcohol is more important to parents in Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina versus the parents in Republika Srpska, but still percentage are really high. So 97% of parents in Federation and 84% of parents in Republika Srpska are recognizing prevention of drug and alcohol use as a quite relevant topic. Prevention of different type of violence is on the top. So almost all target groups, all the responders recognize violence prevention as something that should be part of formal education as a prevention aspect of our life skills education program. Each rated social topic all these topics are something that are partly present, but on a different way, on a different comprehensive scale. So we will use this data not only to advocate introduction of healthy lifestyle, but also for introduction of gender transformative life skills education as such is demanded, is requested as relevant, and is requested as something what all target groups want to have within the formal education.
Feja, thank you, Feja. This was what we needed for our work that follows. And now we will compare the numbers with Serbia region.
Currently, the quality of life skills education is significantly worse, rated by media and NGO representatives as sufficient, than teachers in high school as good. But what's encouraging is that all of the groups of respondents thinks that life skills education is necessary. 91.5% of high school students and 99% of high school teachers, followed by 96% of parents. The good news is that over 80% of respondent groups are for life skills education to be a part of formal education and are willing to support it. 87% of media representatives think it should be a part of formal education, and 93% are willing to support it. Also, 96% of public institutions professionals think it should be formal, and 96% will support it to be formal. However, most of them, 86%, think that prevention of violence and nonviolent communication is the most important topic next to prevention of drugs and alcohol abuse, with 88%.
So let's hear from Jana and Center E8, so she can tell us what that actually means.
Hello, Belgrade from Belgrade, actually from Center E8's offices. We are thrilled to have the chance to present the results from the research conducted in 2019 about life skill education. The research, as I mentioned, was conducted in the last year during the May and June with 7 target groups within the representative samples, and it gather stakeholders from various perspectives and gave them a voice about and the chance to express their opinion about the life skill education, gender equality, and all the topics related to our programs. The surveys were filled in via phone, was with a strict methodological supervision of the conductors. So when it comes to the results, actually the results from the current, the grading of the current state in Serbia when it comes to the life skill education and the current programs, the results weren't so satisfying. For example, media representatives and NGO representatives have graded the current life skill education programs as sufficient. On the other hand, teachers had more optimistic approach and a more optimistic point of view and graded current existing life skill education programs as good. But we have some encouraging results as well. For example, a vast majority of the sample, like 84% of general respondents, have responded that they would, they consider the life skill education important. They would support all the initiatives for making it obligatory and formalizing it. So we have here like the big stream towards the institutions, and we have to just use it because 84% of the general respondents is such a great number. Also, one of the most optimistic results from this research is about that support, and on the other hand, the topics that should be related and addressed in the following years and that were addressed in the following works. For example, all the respondents, all the groups of respondents, 7 groups, we had 7 groups in the research, have mapped alcohol and drugs abuse as one of the main problems, social problems that should be addressed in the future. The good news is that our life skill education is, we had like the same results in working with youth. So this is like one of the problems that is being properly addressed with our programs, and with other programs not so much. So we had like that type of problems is also addressed. But for example, when it comes to the gender equality, that was one of the statement and attitudes measured. They graded, for example, female respondents graded gender equality as a very important topic to be addressed. But on the other hand, male respondents, especially young men and boys included in the research, didn't map the significance of these topics. So we had like here a big chance to work with that's like a big message for us to continue working with young men in the following years when the results are like this. So for example, when it comes to the media and NGO representatives and grading of the current life education programs, that therefore grading is not should not come as a surprise, because these people are constantly working on the content analysis of the current programs, and they are doing the best they can so they can improve it. So their criticism and their skepticism towards the current life skill education programs is a big opportunity for us to improve something and to bring a bigger change on the table. But when it comes to the gender equality as a main topic, I think that the results speak for themselves, and I think that the one of the silver linings of our future work and advocacy should be definitely making gender equality more popular as a theme in the following years. So thank you so much. These are like the highlights from our research, and I'm looking forward to hearing the other results from the region presented by my colleagues as well. So greetings from Belgrade to Belgrade.
Thank you, Jana. Results are interesting. And now we have basics on Kosovo and statistics there too.
Currently, the quality of life skills education is significantly worse rated by media and NGO representatives as sufficient, than teachers in high school as good. But what is encouraging is that all of the groups of respondents thinks that life skills education is necessary. 97% of high school students and 99% of high school teachers, followed by 94% of parents. Good news is that over 95% of every respondent group is for life skills education to be part of a formal education and are willing to support it. 85% of media representatives think it should be part of a formal education, and 90% are willing to support it. Also, 93% of public institutions professionals think it should be formal, and 100% will support it to be formal. However, most of them, 98%, think that prevention of violence and nonviolent communication is the most important topic, next to prevention of drugs and alcohol abuse, with 98%.
Now with us is Njomza from Pristina. Hi Njomza, the stage is yours.
Greetings from Pristina. My name is Njomza and I work for State in Kosovo, and I'm very happy to present the polling research results from Kosovo conducted from CARE during 2019. Life skills education is urgently needed in the formal education in the Balkans to build skills of the future generations and to develop healthy relationships based on gender equality, to understand their physical and emotional development, and to address all forms of violence in their everyday lives. Therefore, from 700 respondents from Kosovo, the same target group as in the other countries presented before, 95% of them said that life skills education is necessary for young people and that life skills education should be a mandatory part of education. The quality of life skills education in Kosovo was rated the highest by teachers, 3.3, public institutions 3.2, youth 3.0, and parents 2.9, whereas it was rated the lowest by employers 1.7. Looking at the ratings by region in general, the rating is not moderately high besides the ratings of the region of Pristina. In general, all groups consider life skills education themes such as prevention of drugs and alcohol abuse, gender equality and challenging gender norms, sexual and reproductive health, and prevention of violence and nonviolent communication as important educational themes. For example, the region of Prizren considers the theme about sexual and reproductive health less important than comparing to the rating of other regions. Ferizaj considers gender equality and challenging gender norms less important compared to the rating of other regions. Segregating the respondents from the youth group with residence and gender shows that themes like sexual reproductive health is considered less important than the other themes by men and boys in urban areas, whereas in rural the same theme is considered less important by women and girls. Segregating the respondents from the parents group with residence and gender shows that themes like prevention of violence and nonviolent communication and gender equality and challenging gender norms are considered less important by boys and men of both urban and rural areas. On the other hand, women and girls from urban areas have different opinions from girls and women from rural areas. In urban areas, girls and women think that themes like sexual and reproductive health is less important, whereas in rural areas, women and girls think that themes such as gender equality and challenging gender norms is less important than the others. In total, 99% of the respondents agreed that sexual and reproductive health is the most important educational topic, 96% of them agreed for gender equality, and 98% said that prevention of violence and nonviolent communication is the most important educational topic. Respondents from Kosovo ranked the prevention of drugs and alcohol abuse and prevention of violence and nonviolent communication as the most important issue. Life skills education in Kosovo is considered important to be part of formal education and that is necessary for young people of Kosovo. Out of 700 respondents, 2.9% of young people from Kosovo rated the quality of life skills education as satisfactory compared to other countries in the region, such as Bosnia and Herzegovina and Serbia. When asked if they are willing to support the initiative of introducing life skills education into curriculum, the vast majority of all groups would support it. However, it is worth mentioning there is a small percentage, 8% of parents, who are not willing to support this initiative. Therefore, our daily work on promoting life skills education is very necessary to be part of the formal education. And it's very important for our young people in order to build a better region and a healthy region as well. So thank you very much for your patience and your attention, and I hope to see you soon in Belgrade or wherever in the region, and best of luck.
Njomza, thank you very much for your explanation of the research. And now, let us all use the break for some relaxation with just a dash of nostalgia.
Don't miss this, because every road down memory lane is a road worth taking.
And hopefully, this will do us good and motivate us to go even further. The future is endless, and it's waiting for us.
So, on our cinema repertoire, we have BMC film. The video is revealing the mystery of a BMN club and their legacy across Balkans. What is BMC? What are main BMC activities, and why is BMC so important? How to become a BMC member, and most importantly, are there any girls in BMC clubs? BMN clubs members are talking from their own experiences.
Future for Youth film. This video is showing the leaders of the movement, strong believers and supporters of introduction of life skill education in all schools across the Balkans. They're talking about the necessity of educational reforms that enables healthier upbringing of new generation that have a healthy lifestyle, life gender equality, and reject violence in all forms and on all levels.
Have you met a new Balkan boy? He is educated and skilled to fight for gender equality. He promotes healthy lifestyles and solidarity. He understands and he is ready to discuss importance of engaging men in achievement of gender equality in the world.
But easy come and easy go when it would. So anytime I need you, let me know. Anytime I reach you, let me know. Anytime I seek you, let me know.
Ćao, ja sam Đorđe i želim da promenim planetu. Budi muško klub je mesto na kome ja menjam zajednicu, a samim tim i celu planetu.
Nuk në burë për mes kontorive të programit ju kanë arritur të na mësojnë shumë gjëra të cilat shkolla nuk na ka ofruar, na kanë mësuar për parazinë gjinore, na kanë mësuar se kemi pasur me sigurisht.
BMK Zagreb predstavlja sigurno mesto gdje ljudi sa različitim idejama dolaze da se druže.
Për mua KBB është një shtëpi. Kur shkoj në KBB, më duket sikur iki në shtëpi dhe heq barrën e tërditës. Unë mund t'jem vetvetja me njerëz të cilët I quaj familje.
Watermelon sugar high, 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 watermelon sugar high.
Antarktikklubben bunun bor kalën Kosovë bashku për ta bërë komunitetin tonë një vend të mirë, ku secili është i barabartë, ka të drejtën e fjalës dhe është i lëshëm të flasë për çka do.
Mësoj më shumë, socializohemi së bashku. Me pak fjalë është vendi jonë i sigurt.
BMK je mjesto gdje mladi ljudi puno života dolaze da biraju svoje ideje, družimo se zajedno tokom akcija i izgrađujemo timski rad.
Pjesëtarët e klubit bunur bor janë shokët dhe shoqet e mia, të cilët janë bashkuar përmes shkollës apo për trajnime që kanë bërë më parë.
Atër çdo adoleshent që dëshiron, çdo i ri që do të mësoj gjëra të reja dhe të flasë për tema sociale, të rinj që duan të bëjnë ndryshim në të ardhmen.
Članovi BMK su učenici srednjih škola, studenti, neki od naših članova su već studij niz godina.
Club isn't the best place to find the lovers, so the bar is where I go. Me and my friends at the table doing shots, tripping fast, and then we talk slow. And you come over and start up a conversation with just me, and trust me, I'll give it a chance. Now take my hand, stop it, and the man on the jukebox, and then we start to dance. And now I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love.
KBB-ja është e nevojshëm sepse na mëson si të drejtohemi të tjerëve pa etiketuar, si cilemi me tjerët dhe me problemet në shoqëri. Na ndihmon ne dhe familjen tonë. Nëse ka KBB, ka ndërshirë.
BMK je organizacija koja se bavi pitanjima o kojima često razgovaramo u društvu. Stvaramo ideje za bolje sutra.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, thunder.
Ako želiš i ti da se priključiš našoj družini gde su super ljudi, super bleje, jednostavno se svi družimo i gde je klub doneo neka nova iskustva za mene i probudio želju da radim sa mladim ljudima i ti možeš biti deo naše ekipe.
Nëse je i njeri i cili do të bëjë një ndryshim sado të vogël, qoftë vetja ose të rrethi i tij shoqëror dhe familjar, KBB-ja është vendi i duhur. Jo vetëm për ndryshuar, por edhe për të njohur veten, njerëz të rinj dhe sa më shumë eksperienca të reja.
Një arsye mirë për të bërë pjesëtar e klubit më bur është se gjithmonë do të kesh persona të cilët mund të mbështetesh dhe mund të quash familje.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder.
Ne pjesëtarët e KBB-s, sa herë që bëjmë foto, bëjmë simbolin e forcimit të muskulit të krahut që tregon fuqi. Jo vetëm djemt, por dhe vajzat, dhe mendoj se kjo gjë është shumë fuqizuese. Ne jemi të forta, po ndonjëherë kemi nevojë ta kujtojmë këtë gjë. Ne kemi nevojë për njerëz që na ndihmojnë të ngrijmë zërin pak më lart dhe për të thyer çdo stereotip apo standard gjinor. Dhe KBB-ja është kjo dorë për ne.
U BMK verujemo da bi cure i momci trebali učestvovati u doprinoskim stvarima koje vole i koje ih interesuju. BMK ne bi bio ono što jeste bez cura.
Ja sam Saša Ostojić i bio sam član Budi muškog kluba. Tačnije, učestvovao sam u kreativnom procesu koji je doveo do osnivanja Budi muškog kluba 2009. godine u Banja Luci. Budi muškog klub mi je važan jer mi je pružio podršku u najkritičnijem periodu odrastanja, periodu adolescencije. Zahvaljujući klubu, taj period nije bio tako stresan kakav je možda mogao biti. Budi muškog klub je za mene sve. Dio odrastanja i sazrijevanja. To je set vrijednosti koje sam izgradio i na osnovu kojeg donosim odluke i dan danas. Zato pozivam sve koji vjeruju u snagu edukacije mladih da se priključe pokretu Budućnost za mlade i podrže uvođenje edukacije o zdravim životnim stilovima u sve škole u regionu.
Informacija nije dovoljna i ne može biti dovoljan faktor u promociji zdravlja i zdravih životnih stilova. Važan faktor koji je ključan za primjenu te informacije koju dajemo mladim ljudima su životne vještine. Istraživanje koje je proveo CARE 2020. godine u 25 srednjih škola u Bosni i Hercegovini, Srbiji, Kosovu i Albaniji pokazuje da nedostatak životnih vještina je važan faktor u pojavi nasilja, prihvatanju nasilja i razvoju indolentnog odnosa prema nasilju. Istovremeno, nedostatak životnih vještina i izloženost nasilju može utjecati na različite aspekte života mladih, kao što je akademska motivacija, akademske performanse i postizanje akademskih rezultata, zatim može utjecati na bavljenje sportom, pa čak i u konačnici na pronalazak kvalitetnog posla. Životne vještine predstavljaju sposobnost pojedinca i pojedinki da se efektivno nose sa izazovima i zahtjevima svakodnevnog života. Stoga je za zaključiti da smo mi ti koji smo odgovorni, koji trebamo biti posvećeni izgradnji vještina budućih generacija da uspostavljaju zdrave odnose bazirane i temeljene na ravnopravnosti spolova, razumijevanju njihovog fizičkog i emocionalnog razvoja i rješavanju svih oblika nasilja s kojima se suočavaju, u kojima svjedoče tokom svog odrastanja. Program Y je dokazano efikasan obrazovni program, obrazovni kurikulum koji dovodi do smanjenja nasilja, za što postoje dokazi efikasnosti. Ali važan resurs u usvajanju stavova koji demonstriraju nultu toleranciju prema svim oblicima nasilja. Naše istraživanje, regionalno istraživanje iz juna 2019. godine pokazalo je da među stručnim i generalnim javnostima gotovo 93% ispitanika smatra da su životne vještine, odnosno psihosocijalne kompetencije, neophodne mladim ljudima. A gotovo 90% ispitanika je spremno podržati uvođenje programa koji doprinose razvoju životnih vještina u formalnom obrazovanju. Postavlja se pitanje, šta čekamo?
Smatram da je obrazovanje mladih o zdravim životnim stilovima vrlo važno i program Y to izvodi upravo i pogađa one teme koje su ključne za taj uzrast. Tema očuvanja reproduktivnog zdravlja u periodu kada mladi prvi put stupaju u partnerske odnose je vrlo bitna. Takođe, odnos među mladima, rodna ravnopravnost, nenasilna komunikacija, to je sve nešto što je prepoznato tokom dugog rada sa mladima kao ključno. Psihoaktivne supstance su tema koja po prvi put dolazi upravo u ovom periodu kao ključna da se skrene pažnja mladima, da se ukaže na problem, jer dolaze prvi put u iskušenje da probaju iste. Smatram da program Y treba da postane obavezan u svim školama u Srbiji, zato što način na koji ove teme obrađuju, uz mogućnost da mladi iznose svoje mišljenje, stavove, da kroz radioničarski rad pristupe temi, jeste vrlo interesantan i dopire do ciljne grupe i može konačno da omogući da program obrazovni bude prilagođen potrebama mladih.
Tung, un jam të utagash jam gazetare dhe jam përkrase e frymës që bën burre për cilë. Aftësitë e jetës përcaktohen si ato aftësitë e nevojshme nga një individ në mënyrë që ai apo ajo të mund të funksionojë në mënyrë efektive në një shoqëri, në një mënyrë aktive dhe konstruktive. Sistemi formal i arsimit nuk jep shumë hapësirë për një mësim të tillë. Me një lëndë të detyrueshme që i dedikohet vetëm aftësive për jetë, do të vini ndryshime pozitive në sjelljet e të rinjve dhe të trejave në botkuptimet e tyre, në mënyrën se si duhet të sillen në shoqëri dhe se si të gjithë të mund të kontribuojmë nga pak.
Poučavajući mlade životnim vještinama, pomažemo im da upoznaju i prihvate sebe, da se nauče skrbiti o svom zdravlju, da preuzmu odgovornost za vlastite izbore i ponašanja i da nauče prihvaćati druge i drugačije. Samo uz takvo obrazovanje u školama, koje je kvalitetno i dostupno svima, možemo izgraditi društvo slobode, nenasilja, inkluzije i socijalne pravde.
Životne vještine su psihosocijalne sposobnosti pomoću kojih se na prihvatljiv način odgovaramo zahtjevima i izazovima svakodnevnog života, zalažući se za svoje duševno i tjelesno zdravlje. Ako znamo da su osnovne životne vještine sposobnost, donošenje odluka i rješavanje problema, kreativno i kritičko mišljenje, komunikacija i interpersonalne vještine, samosvijest i empatija i sposobnost prepoznavanja i izražavanja emocija i odgovarajućeg reagovanja u stresnim situacijama, već iz toga vidimo koliko su to izuzetno značajne teme za osnovce i srednjoškolce. U osnovnim i srednjim školama kroz različite programe, kroz različite nastavne sadržaje učenici se dotiču ovih tema, o njima razgovaraju. Ali da bi razvoj zdravih životnih vještina i njihova primjena, odnosno da bi one postale zaista prave vještine osnovaca i srednjoškolaca, potrebno je to uobličiti u jedan sistem, u jedan program koji ima svoj redoslijed, koji ima svoju dinamiku, koji ima svoj cilj osmišljen i svrsishodan. Takav jedan program Snaga mladih, odnosno Youth Power je izradio, koji nudi upravo ono što je potrebno za razvoj životnih vještina osnovaca i srednjoškolaca.
Është i rëndësishëm sepse janë disa nga dije kryesore që një njeri duhet të ketë, që është në lidhje me shëndetin seksual, është në lidhje me barazinë gjinore dhe të drejtat që secili duhet të ketë. Dhe programi ymi është një ndër më të mirët për të cilën mund të zgjedhim për të përparuar në këtë njohuri.
Se edukimi për aftësi jetësore duhet jetë i detyrueshëm.
Duhet jetë i detyrueshëm sepse edhe këto janë disa njohuri të detyrueshme për jetën, të cilat të bëjnë që të vazhdosh edhe më përpara, të kuptosh vetveta dhe të kuptosh se çfarë po kërkon nga e ardhmja ose nga ajo që ke dëshirë.
Care International je zajedno sa svojim partnerima na Balkanu inicirao društveni pokret Budućnost za mlade. Naš zadatak je da okupimo različite društvene aktere, organizacije civilnog društva, donosioce odluka, neformalne grupe građana i građanki, nastavnike i nastavnice, roditelje i sve zainteresovane pojedince oko zajedničkih ciljeva, što su prevencija nasilja, promocija rodne ravnopravnosti i promocija obrazovanja o zdravim životnim stilovima. Sve ovo zahteva sistemski pristup, inovacije i veliku količinu posvećenosti. Zato mi stojimo jedni uz druge. Radimo zajedno i solidarno na izgradnji progresivnog i mirnog društva za svaku mladu osobu na Zapadnom Balkanu. Osim podrške regionalnih i nacionalnih donosilaca odluka, neophodna nam je pomoć saveznika i saveznica i zajednice. Jer samo zajedničkim, solidarnim i udruženim delovanjem možemo da doprinesemo društvenim promjenama koje su zaista održive. I samo tako možemo da zapravo izgradimo budućnost za mlade.
Iniciativa e burrave të rinj është një program edukues i cili ka dokumentuar një sukses shumë të rëndësishëm në Ballkanin Perëndimor. Që nga viti 2006, ky projekt është duke u implementuar në Bosnjë-Hercegovinë, në Serbi, në Kosovë, në Shqipëri dhe gjithashtu në Kroaci. Gjatë këtyre viteve janë trajnuar mbi 100.000 nxënës të shkollave të ndryshme dhe janë angazhuar mbi 700.000 nxënës të tjerë në 130 komunitete. Ne kemi bashkëpunuar me shumë aktorë të njohur dhe kemi arritur në konkluzionin që është e rëndësishme një përqasje e njëjtë për sa i përket këtyre temave të ndryshme në Ballkan. CARE së bashku me partnerët e kanë promovuar programin ynë në të gjitha rajonet, duke marrë edhe akreditimin në shumicën e shteteve të Ballkanit Perëndimor nga Ministritë e Arsimit përkatëse.
Fokus samog kurikuluma se temelji na shvatanju da adolescencija predstavlja važan trenutak u procesu socijalizacije, to jest trenutak u kojem se formuliraju čvršći stavovi prema nasilju i rodnim normama. Također, fokus samog kurikuluma prepoznaje i važnost škola kao institucija u kojima se mladi ljudi izgrađuju na način da izgrađuju i jačaju svoje rodne norme. Teorija promjene VMI programa je da ako učenici prepoznaju same štetne rodne norme, odnosno ako i naučimo prepoznavati štetne rodne norme i ako im obezbijedimo prostor u kojem mogu uvježbati kritičko propitivanje štetnih rodnih normi, tada postoji veća vjerovatnoća da će i oni sami prihvatiti kritički stav prema rodnim normama, da će kritički pristupati prema rodnim normama, te da će se u stvari uključiti u organizaciju provođenja aktivnosti koje imaju za cilj da promovišu rodno ravnopravno, zdravo i nenasilno ponašanje među mladima. Naš pristup se temelji na rješavanju rodnih nejednakosti i promicanju zdravih životnih stilova kako bi dječaci, djevojčice, odnosno mladići i djevojke mogli ostvariti svoj puni potencijal na putu do svoje odrasle dobi. U društvima u kojima ravnopravnost spolova je jako zastupljena, tu vidimo da je položaj muškaraca i žena mnogo bolji i u stvari da i muškarci i žene imaju puno pozitivnije ishode i veća ljudska prava kao građani.
Koha për ndryshim të Ballkanit Perëndimor ka ardhur. Është koha ku ne duhet që të shfrytëzojmë përvojën tonë dhe vjeçare për të krijuar një lëvizje sociale e cila promovon barazinë gjinore, parandalon dhunën, promovon stilin e jetesës së shëndetshme si dhe aftësitë jetësore tek të rinjtë të rinj në Ballkanin Perëndimor. Për në fakt çka është ajo që ne duam të arrijmë? Programi Y, programi i cili në thelb përmban stilin e jetesës së shëndetshme si dhe aftësitë jetësore, duhet të jetë pjesë e çdo kurrikule moslimore të edukimit formal në regionin e Ballkanit Perëndimor. Një tjetër qëllim është që platforma Future4YouTH duhet të shërbejë si qendër burimore për të rinjtë të reja sa i përket aftësisë jetësore, të shërbejë për shkëmbimin e metodave, eksperiencave, si dhe fuqizimin e anëtarëve tonë. Ne duam që të ndryshojmë qasjen tonë ndaj barazisë gjinore. Duam të krijojmë zgjidhje afatgjate, e cila ndryshon mendsinë tonë në këtë qasje, parandalon dhunën, promovon stilin e jetesës së shëndetshme si dhe aftësitë jetësore tek të rinjtë të reja.
Ja sam Saša Ostojić i bio sam član Budi muškog kluba. Tačnije, učestvovao sam u kreativnom procesu koji je doveo do osnivanja Budi muškog kluba 2009. godine u Banja Luci. Budi muškog klub mi je važan jer mi je pružio podršku u najkritičnijem periodu odrastanja, periodu adolescencije. Zahvaljujući klubu, taj period nije bio tako stresan kakav je možda mogao biti. Budi muškog klub je za mene sve, dio odrastanja i sazrijevanja. To je set vrijednosti koje sam izgradio i na osnovu kojeg donosim odluke i dan danas. Zato pozivam sve koji vjeruju u snagu edukacije mladih da se priključe pokretu Budućnost za mlade i podrže uvođenje edukacije o zdravim životnim stilovima u sve škole u regionu.
As we mentioned earlier today and predicted our future, the breakout session is ready to begin.
The main topic of all of the sessions is talking about enabling life skills education in communities across the Balkans. Every session will analyze introducing an application of Y program in high schools and further choices and obstacles for growth in the local languages. Participants in this session will be practitioners and experts from countries such as ministry representatives, teachers, parents, academics, and BMC members.
Please feel free to choose any of the sessions you find the most interesting and do stay with us afterwards. We want to hear all about it.
So please go to youngmaninitiative.net/future4youth and join any session from Belgrade, Sarajevo, Mostar, Banja Luka, Pristina, Tirana, and Zagreb. We are sure that there will be something interesting for everyone.
Or what are you most interested about? Please check all of many options that are now before you. And after an hour, please come back so we can do the follow-up and find what we have missed.
Okay, Marco. So earlier today, you predicted the future. But do you have any idea what was going on in the sessions and what were the breakthrough conclusions that were made?
I picked a bit here and there, but I already used my superpower once. So now I'll do it the old-fashioned way and just ask the representatives of the sessions to share them with us.
Oh, okay. So all of this is already old-fashioned for you, yes? You really are a progressive type of person. But let's see how they will enlighten us.
Okay. Now for real. We hoped that you all enjoyed variety of topics we covered. It was really interesting in all the rooms, and we're honored to have presented you over 30 representatives from all over the region.
But let's cut right to the chase. They must be very excited to share what they have to say with us. Let's start with Banja Luka first.
Yeah, I'm hearing. Thank you very much. During our session that we already had this moment, we had very good and interesting guests and speakers that discussed about the importance of program prevention of peer violence and promotion of healthy lifestyles that we already implemented in the region since 2006. At this moment, we had opportunity to discuss these issues with professionals of high school in Banja Luka, also with parents of participants in the Be a Man Club in Banja Luka, as well as with peer educator who is so dedicated and active in education of young people regarding mentioned issues. So at this moment, after discussion and after a very good debate, we concluded very important things that is going to happen, actually help us to upgrade our program and continue to work together with our partners in the region. One of the main important things is that this program is recognized as a supporter of the school in the formal system that upgrade personal competencies and citizens' competencies of the youth. Also, this program promotes values all over the region through youth. Also, we had opportunity to see results of the survey that we conducted in the last period, that we have very good information that we have good changes regarding attitudes in the area of gender issues, as well as sexual and reproductive health. We also got information that the youth participated in this program are more open after this program to discuss about their own problems, and they are able to more actively participate and involve themselves in the citizens' actions and community development. Also, during these programs, youth are recognized that they are able to do a progress of their own stuff and educate themselves, as well as to educate other youth in the society. Also, this program contributes to individual and social norms and values in the society. Also, one of the very important conclusions is that it's very important to find a balance and good modality between formal and informal or non-formal approaches, cooperating with high schools And it would be very good to involve students' councils in schools to make this engagement more developed and sustainable.
Thank you, Banja Luka. Belgrade, you're up next.
Greetings from Belgrade. During our panel discussion, we have talked with many interesting panelists. Actually, they're not just panelists, they're like friends of the project, and they have been giving us major support through the years. So we've talked with Nataša Stojanović. She is the president of the Serbian Pedagogical Society and also a pedagogist in Sveti Sava Gymnasium in Belgrade. We've talked with Milja Krivokuća, represented actually the counselor within the Ministry of Education, Science and Technological Development of Republic of Serbia. We've talked with Nikola Mihajlović. He is a teacher, a professor, and he's been implementing Program Y in Kosovska Mitrovica. And we've talked with Selena Timotijević, a Bioman Club member from Mitrovica also, and she's been a major supporter of the every single activity for synergy from Kosovska Mitrovica. So we've talked about our results. We've talked about great wishes for the project. We've also talked about our movement and ways that we can improve our support, the ways we can open up our activities to the community and society and be more visible and more sustainable. And one of the major breakthroughs of this panel session was remembrance about the sustainability and endurance of the program and the great results we had with youth. So that was our panel. It was very interesting, and our 12 points go to Future4Youth from Belgrade.
Okay, Belgrade, that sounds great. Tirana, how was your session like? We want to hear everything.
Hello, Marco. Thank you to invite us. And at the end of this conference, I want to summarize some important points that we have speak together and what the other staff and invited person have thinking about this project in Albania. In this project, we have one person from the Ministry of Education and Sport. She evaluated the project in the Ministry of Education and Sport, how she have explained to us that it's the first time after 5 years that she worked in the Ministry of Education that she have seen one project that in the head of this are men. And she think it's so important because all time we have seen only girl and woman that work to provide a gender issue or to be equal, to be equal man and woman. And for the first time she think it's important then men also come in the head of project and speak about the importance of the gender issue. Why? Because sometimes in the rural zone men have the right to go outside to choose what they want in their life, to choose with which girl she wants to be, and so that for this reason she tell if we can speak with men that how is important that girls also have the right to choose for their life, maybe we can be better person. For this reason she tell us that it's important to continue with this project also in the other schools, because this project have been implemented only in 2 schools, and maybe they have worked with 500 youth, but for this reason we have to continue more. The second person that have been invited to this conference is the head of school in Ib, in a village of Albania, in a rural zone, when it's a difficult community, it's a vulnerable community, we can tell, because they have a more difficult problems, economic problems, and for this reason, youths in this village want to going in other place. They want to go in Italy, in Greece, because they think that they don't have nothing to do in Albania. And sometimes they leave school because they think it's not important to go at school because we don't have nothing to take from the school. For this reason, for the first time, we have see this project, and we have worked with the youth from this village to help them to understand that if you can learn better, you go at school, maybe you have more possibility to choose for your future life. It will be better life for you and a better impact in the society. The third person that has come to speak with us is Elona Mehmeti, pedagogue in the university, and she have explained that it's important that those subjects come obligatory also in the university, and the most important in the university that prepare future teachers, because the teachers that are here, for example, the teachers of physics, maths, it's important that also them can learn something about these subjects, because in the futures, when they will be in the high school and when they have to speak with pupils, they know what can they do, because pupils, they tell to us that it's important for us to have a door at school when we can go and consult with our teachers for something. And also, teachers, for the moment, they don't feel ready to work with pupils about this subject as a gender issue or extremism or drugs, because they don't have enough knowledge. For this reason, it's important to go and to develop training with teachers that are in school, to speak with a language that it's more easy to speak, to let them to understand why it's important that this subject come inside of the school. Because maybe teachers are most on contact with pupils than their parents, because people stay in school 6 hours. So if we have teachers that take in account this one and understand what they can do better, maybe in the future we will have better students. And the fourth person that have been invited is a youth from one of our high school that have participated in our work session, training, and she have explained us that at the beginning of this session, she had very much difficulty to speak with her father, because sometimes her father don't understand that she want to go outside with other friends, she want to go in swimming pool or to seeing a film, because she think that girls have to stay at home to learn, to cook, to clean, but not to going outside with friends. And she explained to us that after being part of this session, to coming in this working session, she have been more confident to explain to her father that she is equal with boys, because boys have to clean also, to learn, to come at home and to respect girls. And why not? She is a girl and she have right also to going outside, to staying with friends, to playing, to going in swimming pool, because she is youth and have time to do something on life. And for this reason, we think that it's important to continue with this project and to let the title equal men in head. Maybe if men are more protective, if men can doing some conferences, if men can speak between them, maybe we can have better society, because men can explain at the end of the day that we need to be tolerant, and if we want better society, together we can do more things. For this reason, we think that we have to continue with this big project. Thank you, Marco, to hear us from Albania.
Thank you, Tirana. That's great. Mostar, we haven't seen you in a while. Please share your experience with us.
Hi from Mostar. So we are now going to see what are the conclusions of the work we had here with the representatives of the Ministry of Education, 2 pedagogical institutes, pedagogue, and one of the BMN Club Mostar members. So 3 topics that we were discussing were actually, I have it all written on my papers, and I was trying to have it all written down while the group was discussing. We had really fruitful discussion, and I think we made the good plans for next 3 years. And now the only bad thing is that now we are obligated to implement everything that came up to our minds, all the ideas. So the 3 topics that we were discussing is actually implementation of Program E, or the new program for elementary schools. What's the method and which methodology we should use. Second topic we were discussing was use of the online education course for education of professors in primary and secondary schools. And the third topic that the group discussed was actually how we can move forward in working with the future teachers and future pedagogues, professors, in terms of working already, starting collaboration with faculties. So in terms of the implementation of new program E and start of working in primary schools, some of the conclusions were that we will use the same approach we had in work with secondary schools, which proved to be really good, especially because it brought us to the point of time now where we have accreditation of program Y in secondary education in high schools in Herzegovina and Neretva canton. So in terms of work in primary schools, we plan to have similar methodology and similar approach to start working first with recognizing several primary schools in which we should work, developing and signing memorandum of understanding with schools and school directors. And we will directly work by using already acquired skills and knowledge of the pedagogues that we have already educated in the last 3 years, and they will be the ones working directly with pedagogues from the primary schools and with teachers from primary schools, and developing their skills to implement program E workshops in primary schools. In terms of where we will implement the activities, we will start to work in 2 schools in Mostar, and additionally in 4 schools in smaller cities and communities in our cantons. We will also move forward in working directly with 4 more high schools in our canton, and almost reaching out all the high schools that we have in our canton. When it comes to discussion about how we can use online educational course, the whole group, especially representatives of the ministry and pedagogical institutes, recognize the importance of using online tools and online educational course, especially in these current circumstances of the coronavirus. And they see it as that this situation will help us to more easily use the online course and have it accessed by more teachers from primary and secondary schools. And the last topic that we were discussing was actually how to start working in faculties. Ministry and 2 pedagogical institutes have already recognized several parts in curriculums of faculties, especially teachers faculty and pedagogical faculty, and they have identified that topics such as violence prevention and all the topics that we are covering with healthy lifestyles and program Y at the moment, that they are necessary in the education of future teachers and pedagogues. And that's why we will use already developed program Y and program E as a resource for work with faculties, and we plan in the next period of next 2 to 3 years to start working with them directly. And at the end, one of the important things that we will also give to faculties is actually a chance to have their students, future teachers, future pedagogues, educated on how to use our educational programs, and have them directly implement educational workshops in cooperation with primary and secondary schools in our canton. So that would be conclusion of our group work, our group discussion in short.
Mostar, it was a pleasure. Thank you. And now, Pristina, we hope that things are not going south for you.
Really? That's your joke?
Shh! Pristina is calling.
Hello everyone from Pristina. I am Vesnik Leka, the moderator of Regional Conference Future for Youth, which is implemented by Young Men Initiative Project in the Balkan region. With me, the panelists were Teuta Saatria, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora, Besim Kodra, Executive Director of Organization Prague, part of the Coalition K10, and Leona Lugalia, active member of BNN Club. We talked about the importance of integrating program Y into the existing curricula with the Ministry of Education and how this program during the last decade has impacted many young people's life. As well, we're pleased to hear different perspectives from our panelists, seeing the importance of such program being integrated into the existing curricula with Ministry of Education and giving opportunities young people to learn about life skills program. Stay in touch with us. You'll be hearing a lot of other panelists from other region and other members who will be talking about the importance of the project and the program being integrated within the existing curricula in the Balkan region. Thank you.
So, that was Pristina. Thank you. Welcome, Zagreb. What important things you have to share with us?
Hello, Marco. Greetings from Zagreb. We would like to let you know about conclusions from our panel discussion. Okay, we had a very fruitful discussion with several panelists from different backgrounds, such as we had representative of Croatian Ministry of Science and Education. We had representative of Faculty for Education and Rehabilitation Sciences of the University of Zagreb. We had two long-time activists and youth workers, representatives of the NGO sector in Croatia, and a teacher with experience of implementation of Program Y, representative of the Industrial Engineering School of Zagreb. Now with some conclusions. Okay, we had a panel discussion on possibilities of systematic implementation of Program Y in high school system in Republic of Croatia. So all panelists have agreed that we need a more systematic approach in implementing prevention programs like Program Y, of course, on the national level in Croatian high school system, because that is the only way to include the majority of youth population into violence prevention activities to build society of non-violence and gender equality. Several panelists mentioned the need for a scientific approach in measuring the needs of the youth, as well as the need for an evidence-based violence prevention program such as Program Y. More specifically, a panelist from Faculty for Education and Rehabilitation Sciences pointed out the principles of effective prevention programs. Important thing to stress out is that Program Y fulfills requirements of an effective, evidence-based prevention program and therefore is a good candidate to consider for wider or more systematic implementation on national level in Croatia. Another important thing to point out is that the civil sector and NGOs are recognized as leaders and examples of good practice in the implementation of of prevention programs in schools. On the other side, panelists have mentioned that other participants, such as decision makers, local communities, schools, universities, etc., should be more included in the process of development, testing, and implementation of prevention programs in Croatian schools. It was also mentioned that the Ministry of Science and Education can be a bridge between Program Y and schools in Croatia and a support to the Status M organization, either through project partnerships or by including representatives into working groups, drafting different recommendations, letters, and so on, which Status M eagerly accepts and looks forward to, including different stakeholders in our movement for a better future for youth and the society of non-violence, freedom, solidarity, and gender equality. Thank you very much. Those were our conclusions.
Thank you very much. And after Zagreb, finally we are back at Baš Čaršija. What is going on with you, Sarajevo?
Hello from just give me a mask. Hello from Sarajevo, and I will present you the results from the panel discussion that we had with the representatives of schools, experts from pedagogy, and with a member of parent representative and a member of BMN Club and a young men team leader from a BMN Club Sarajevo. So both schools emphasized that as a result of program-wide implementation in both project school representatives emphasized that they didn't have any record of violent behavior in the last several years. And they are linking this outcome to the implementation of program-wide and BMN Club activities. From parents' perspective, during the panel discussion, parents emphasized that all parents want the best for their children. Therefore, they will be supportive toward the implementation of program Y if we inform parents about the benefits and expected outcomes of program Y implementation and BMN Club activities. Parents and teachers need support, as both target groups are not equipped with the knowledge and the skills to provide adequate support to young people. And this is something that both parents and the representatives of school emphasize as an important issue. Another conclusion was that life skills education is relevant and necessary for young people and should be integral part of formal education here in Canton Sarajevo, but also in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Also, one of the school representatives emphasized that with life skills education, we can empower young people to have more strength to positively respond on the demands of everyday life. It is important to inform parents about this and about expected positive outcomes in order to establish a supportive learning environment, because some of the topics are a little bit sensitive in relation to the context and the traditional perception of role of educational sector in a field of working on health promotion. Therefore, it will be much beneficial for teachers if parents are supportive about all the topics within the program Y. Informative sessions for representatives of parent council should be implemented, as parents council could increase demands in high schools all across the Canton Sarajevo. Also, from pedagogical perspective, school pedagogues should be also trained to be able to implement program Y, as pedagogues are the ones who are using the similar approaches, methodological approaches similar to those within the program Y, and they could be additional resource within the schools for the implementation of program Y in the high schools in Canton Sarajevo. Also, decision makers and school representatives should be informed about the key findings of the latest end-line evaluation, as they, with those results, they would be much more supportive toward implementation, high-quality implementation of program Y. Also, school director emphasized that we have to inform all high school teachers here in Canton Sarajevo about the program Y and the benefits and the modalities of implementation, as program Y implementation depends on the support from the ministry and from the school directors jointly. And also, both school representatives emphasize that it is time for schools to start implementing such emotional educational programs, as such programs are much more effective than this traditional way of violence prevention and health promotion that are existing in Canton Sarajevo. And final and the last conclusion was that gender equality should be integral part of life skills formal education here in Canton Sarajevo. So, as you can see, we had a lot of outcomes and a lot of important conclusions about the scaling up and new strategies of introducing program Y in the high schools here in Canton Sarajevo.
Thank you very much, Feđa, and thank you, Sarajevo.
Thank you all for your dedicated work.
And without you all, we will not be able to fully realize the missions that we are all about to take. Adventure is in our doorstep. Challenges are knocking on doors.
Do you feel it?
Well, in fact, yes, I do. I feel chills, they're multiplying, and I feel something very important is about to happen.
Yes, people, it is the time for the change. The momentum for a change in the Balkans has come.
Are you ready to embrace it?
If you are, listen very carefully what we have to say to you, because this is our declaration. This is our oath.
This is what we stand for, and we will be beyond happy if you stand here with us, giving us your signature.
So without any further ado, let us hear loud and clear the declaration.
Please.
Who are our partners? Since its beginning, YMI is being implemented by CARE and partners youth organizations from the region. Over the years, these partners have become resource centers and most relevant actors on promoting the engagement of men and boys in the violence prevention and promoting of gender equality. CARE's main partners are Status M Zagreb, Center E8 Belgrade, Smart Collective Belgrade, Association XY Sarajevo, Institute Perpetuum Mobile Banja Luka, Youth Power Mostar, Synergy North Mitrovica, SIT Center for Counseling, Social Services and Research, and YMCA Pristina and Center Act for Society from Tirana. We want to partner with all well-intentioned, dedicated, and like-minded individuals, organizations, and institutions, in particular youth and their parents, teachers, peer educators, sports and social workers, as well as pedagogues, psychologists, activists, and members of academia who share the same values and the vision on how to achieve a better, just, and equal society. Future for Youth Movement Declaration. The momentum for a change in the Balkans has come, and we need to join our efforts and experience into one social movement aimed at addressing violence and prevention, gender equality, life skills education, and promotion of healthy lifestyles among young people across the Balkans. Future for Youth movement, gathered around Young Men Initiative, aims to bring diverse voices of civil society, informal citizens groups, parents, teachers, and other supporters around the same goal: to address and advocate for violence prevention, gender equality, life skills, and health education in schools across Balkans. The change we want to see. Life skills education programs such as Program Y is mandatory in formal schools curriculum across the Western Balkan region. Future for Youth platform acts as a resource center for life skills education and advocacy hub for empowering members to share experience and take collective action on local, national, and regional level. Empowered communities act as long-term agents of change for violence prevention, gender equality, life skills, and health education in schools. Attitudes on violence prevention, gender equality, life skills, and health education among youth in Balkans are changed. Our values: equality, because we believe that difference should be respected and listened to, and each person should be valued by their unique contribution in any society. Diversity. We apply different approaches in working with different environments, but we strive toward the same goals. Innovation and creativity. We challenge ourselves and people around us by using out-of-box thinking in order to achieve the best result and our ultimate goal. Solidarity. Our coalition is based on strong partnership among variety of stakeholders where we nurture respect and tolerance. Transparency and accountability. We strongly believe in the change we want to make, led by our own examples and based on high transparency and commitment to our approaches. Youth leadership. Our activities are made by the youth and for the youth, and we strongly believe that young people should be given a chance to innovate, create solutions, and challenge the world around us. So, Uroš, now, please, can you sign the declaration?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I will. So, check here, check here, check here, and here to sign.
Yeah.
So, support us and sign the declaration. And now, let us summon up all of the cities once again for their final word. We will do that in the same order like before. So, here we go. We are listening to you, youth.
Sara from Mostar is with us.
There are numerous reasons for you to join us and sign this declaration. But for a start, we'll give you 8. Number 1, remember how sometimes you say to yourself, "Oh, I wish I'd known that then, because today will be a different story"? Well, here's your chance to let us know important things on time.
Thank you, Sara. Next is Alvi from Tirana.
Hi, hello from Tirana. If we are almost 100% positive about the necessity of life skill education at the biggest, or let's say, enormous impact it will have, why don't we give 100%, or as a matter of fact, why don't we give more than 100% for us to succeed?
Thank you, Tirana. Riyad from Sarajevo is next.
Hello guys, me again. We all want to change something what is impossible. It is our destiny. We'll leave that to God, but what we can do is to make ourselves a better person. We can do it even together. So let's make this what is right now better, even more better. Stay healthy, guys. See you soon. Greetings from Sarajevo.
Thank you, Riyad. And from Kosovska Mitrovica, we have Selena.
Hello back, I'm Selena. And it is not all about the future. It is about the legacy as well. Imagine that our legacy for future young people of tomorrow is a better and safer life for them. A world that doesn't scare them and life they love. What legacy can be greater than that? Bye.
Thank you, Selena. Now we go to our neighbor from Pristina, Ron.
So let's all sign the declaration and let's do everything we can now so that tomorrow is a future we can look forward to.
Thank you, Ron. And now from Belgrade, Teodora.
Hey, yes, you just can't get rid of me, I know. But I'm here to beg you to sign the declaration. Because it's our responsibility to ensure that young people will have safe environment in the future, to grow, to blossom, you know? So make a promise that we won't break the future for youth, okay? And, let's make an action.
Thank you, Teodora. And now, Dario from Zagreb.
Pozdrav iz Zagreba. By signing this declaration, we are paving the future signature by signature, action by action, project by project, and in the blink of an eye, we are there in a better tomorrow. But remember, it is important to start now.
Thank you, Zagreb. And on your spot now will come David from Banja Luka.
Hello everyone, it's me again. We're again in Banja Luka, next to the graffiti of BMN Club. So I have to tell you something important. Let's sign the declaration and be sure that is the smartest move we can make. Because everything great that has ever happened was because of the deeds that were done in the past by the people who knew that the key to the future is always right here and right now. Sign the declaration. The future is coming. Let's make it right.
Wow, those folks have given us some powerful messages to think about, haven't they?
Yes, but somehow I feel like I would like to hear from someone who has been here for a long time. You know, someone who saw it all.
That means it is the perfect time to hear what Emilia from CARE Serbia has to say.
Hello, thank you so much for this. Good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, I would like to give greetings to our hosts, also in Belgrade. And I would like to wish good afternoon to everybody. Firstly, I cannot compensate for the energy of the previous video. I'm sorry, I will try, but BMN Club members, they're just superheroes. And as our host said, my name is Emilia. I'm a care project manager implementing Young Men Initiative. I'm speaking here not only on personal level, not only on care level, but also I'm speaking in front of all organizations that are currently engaged in Future for Youth that CARE is convening. We are extremely happy that we have arrived at this point of time, because for more than a decade, we are believing that life skills education that includes gender equality, violence prevention, and health education is something needed, and it is a driver of change, not only in our countries, but globally. And we have proved that in the Balkans. For 10 years, we've been testing methodology and working with different schools and ministries, and we have amazing results, as you heard today. The key moment actually for us was 2019, when we received the results of public opinion poll that our colleagues spoke about before today. Those results were amazing. We were astonished seeing that 93% of people actually supports integration of life skills education in school curriculum. And 93% is ready to support that change. And that was actually the tipping moment for us when we decided to go public and actually to reach those people. Our goal is to reach supporters and to get support from all those teachers, parents, young people, civil society, media, employers, and civil servants who believe in the change, who believe in educational reform, and who see this issue as an emerging issue in the Balkans. Today's event is actually the first step in this process. We are kicking off, and we will be working on this in next year and years beyond that. I will try to be short and to say what are actually our plans for 2021 and beyond. Firstly, we are going to mainstream our declaration and values that is on our website, and we will be searching for our supporters. We will be searching for you. After that, we are going to form thematic groups of interested individuals and organizations on a country community level and on a regional level, and to start to organize wide and in-depth consultations with all of you who are having some interesting ideas and inputs, how we can improve our work and how we can make this change. Jointly, we are going to draft recommendations on country level and regional level to actually implement intensive advocacy in the next years towards our respective governments to showcase why is this important and how to do it, how to include life skills education that includes gender equality, violence prevention, and health education in all schools across the Balkans. We'll be working together to create a better educational environment that enables healthier upbringing for next generations. And that is why we need you. We need you to work with us jointly, and we need you to sign the declaration, and you will be contacted by our partner organizations in our countries and communities. We need you to work with us and take a joint stand in this goal that we want to achieve. That is a small message from me, and I would like to conclude to join us. Let's make this change together. Thank you so much, and a lot of greetings for everybody on this online conference.
Emilia, thanks a million for being here. And let us all go and find that declaration on the website.
Now that we all signed it, it is our great pleasure to wish a big welcome to the man, the superhero, and the reason that we are all here today. John Crownover, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Marco Oros, great to hear your voices from across the Atlantic. And greetings to everybody from Atlanta, Georgia, home of Martin Luther King, and Atlanta United, one of the best football teams, soccer football in the United States. I'm really happy to be joining you all for this really important conference, Future for Youth, and having the opportunity to help close this great event with just a few words. As many of you know, this program is very dear to me, has been very dear to me for a very long time. It's hard to believe that it was over 15 years ago that a group of youth organizations came together with CARE around developing this idea. I definitely feel a bit older than I did 15 years ago when we came together, and I'm sure many of the great staff from all over the region also feel a bit older from those early days. But there's a lot to celebrate from these last 15 years, both in terms of the number of young people that have been involved and engaged in the Young Men Initiative, and all the efforts really to bring about some positive social change in the region to help improve the lives for young people in the region. And I think, you know, that's something that should be a unifying message and voice for everywhere. You know, we live in a polarized world where differences are often what get magnified, certainly in my own country. But one of the things that can be a unifying message and voice for everybody, things that can unite and bring people together, is, you know, what we can do to improve the lives for young people, to make sure that the next generation have a better world to live in and to grow and dream in. And I think the Future for Youth social movement is part of creating that environment where young people feel like that there's a future that's waiting for them. You know, we've all been going through a stressful period with COVID-19 and trying to manage our lives. And we know that that has also impacted families and young people greatly. And so trying to unify them on a platform of life skills education and gender equality and addressing violence that still exists in our region and around the world. These are common challenges that we are facing all around the world with different contexts. But, you know, what's important is that people come together to really unify on how we can spread messages that there are ways to improve the situations, to help young people find the right path to their dreams and whatever those dreams may be. And that, you know, together we can achieve more than individually. And I think the Future for Youth movement is really about how we can come together as professionals, as families, but more importantly, giving young people a chance to have their voice a part of what their future should be and what the future that they want. You know, too often maybe young people are used to hearing from those of us like myself who are much older and who, you know, feel like we have years of wisdom, but there's a lot of wisdom that comes from young people themselves. And I think this movement is very particular about, you know, the role that students, particularly high school age students, can play in trying to create a better future for themselves. You know, one of the great blessings that I've had was meeting, you know, hundreds and thousands of young people throughout the Balkans regions, throughout the countries that have been involved in this unique initiative, who have just been creative, energetic, and innovative with ideas on how we can improve things in their local communities and indeed across the region. Never mind language barriers, never mind, you know, political barriers or geographic barriers. You know, these young people, you know, see a deep vision for what we can do to really make things better, not just for themselves, but for their communities and for all of us living in those communities. So I think it's really important, particularly as we look to celebrate on November 17th, International High School Students Day, which is an important day to kind of recognize high school students and all the hard work that they're doing, particularly some of the, challenges that they've had to face, but more importantly, what we can do together to really make sure that they do have a future, one where, that they are a part of in deciding what that future is, where their voice is playing an important role, and where we're listening to these ideas and diverse ideas, right? Because we grow more when we work together as a united group than when we work together as individuals. And I think, the great thing about seeing these Bumaka clubs and these clubs all over the region is that, hundreds and thousands of young people have been working every day to really improve their schools, to improve their communities in lots of different ways. So I look forward to staying engaged with this initiative, even from a distance, and hopefully we'll be back in the region to see firsthand myself the continued great work that our partners are doing in CARE across the region, and importantly, what the young people are doing as well. And, it reminds me of a quote, many of you may know, it goes back in history a little bit, former President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR. And he said, we cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. And I think that's really what Program Y and what this movement is about, is, helping prepare young people for the future. They will create their own future. And we have confidence that that future is going to continue to be better than the future that they were born into. With their passion and energy. But I think, that quote really kind of tells me how important it is, not for us to decide the future for young people, but to create conditions for them, for skills for them to really grow and develop a future that will benefit them and everybody on this planet. So again, my hats off to my wonderful colleagues all over the Balkans and our partners who are doing incredible work on the ground. And again, a message to all of you who are participating in this: please help spread the word about the Future for Youth movement. Get involved, do what you can to help it, because I think this is something that we will all benefit for, and importantly, that young people will benefit from. So again, thank you. Great to be with you, even in distance. And I hope to see all of you soon. Take care. Back to you, Marco and Uroš.
Thank you, John. It is always a joy when you come to visit us. Once again, thank you all for a great day. Don't forget, find the declaration on the website of Future for Youth.
We had a blast. We had our trip to the memory lane. We heard so many of you. We studied, we researched. Even harder, we came to important conclusions.
We heard the declaration that will color our future, and we stand by it.
Our mission is now clear. But once again, we are kindly asking all of us, sign the declaration and set the future on its path.
We need the biggest support we can get. After everything that we heard from all of those representatives from so many organizations, from our donors, from our students.
After going through the research and all of the break sessions, we hope it is crystal clear that we have to make sure that Program Y is in every possible school we can get to. So please join the Future for Youth movement and be with us on the mission. Only together we are that superhero we dream about.
So that is the reason why this conference is organized within the framework of Young Men Initiative project titled Men and Boys as Partners in Promoting Gender Equality and the Prevention of Youth Extremism and Violence in the Balkans. That is supported by the Austrian Development Cooperation, OAK Foundation, and Government of the Switzerland, and implemented by CARE International Balkans, in cooperation with partner organizations.
We promise you a great ride. Everyone who signs the declaration will be contacted and will have the choice to join the Future for Youth in any way she or he thinks it is for the best. So, thank you once again.
See you tomorrow and the day after until we see each other in the future. See you all in the Future for Youth!